Guys, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you all how to play Jhin like a beast in Wild Rift. We're going to be covering the passive, the abilities, the combos you need to know. We're also going to be taking a look at how to draft Jhin in all of your ranked games. Later on, we're going to take a look at some gameplay to show you guys how you need to lane and trade with Jhin. And we're going to be looking at some team fights so you know exactly how to execute this champion. In this video, we're literally going to cover everything you need to know. So let's get started. Alright guys, so first we're going to be taking a look at the Jhin passive. So Jin's passive is called Whisper. Jin's hand cannon, Whisper, carries 4 shots before needing to reload, and it fires at a fixed rate. Basically, your attack speed will be converted into attack damage, and the final bullet will have critical strike, dealing an additional 25% missing health physical damage. Whenever Whisper crits, Jhin gains a burst of 15% movement speed. So this is important to know because Jhin is very strong because of his passive. So whenever you crit with Jin's auto attack, since I have crit, you get a bit of movement speed. Okay. Now your first 3 shots are normal shots, so they're nothing crazy, right? But your last final shot does the extra 25% missing health physical damage. So as you can see, normal shots do 906 because I'm full build right now, but the final shot does an additional 1346 damage. So that's very important to note. Your 4th shot is what you use to execute people and just deal a bunch of damage. And when you are running out of your 4 shots, you have to wait for the Whisper to reload. And yeah, that's essentially the passive. It's pretty simple. It's basically your auto attacks. Now your first ability, Dancing Grenade. This is a really fun one. Launches a magical cartilage at an enemy, dealing 609 physical damage before bouncing to an enemy target that has not yet been hit. It can hit up to 4 targets and gains 44% damage each time it kills. So as you can see, on one target, it'll bounce to the scuttle, which is pretty cool. It's literally just a normal grenade, and that's it. It's just you toss it out. Now right here we have 4 targets, and as you can see, you'll get 4 bounces. Now it does kind of matter where you throw the grenade, because as you can see, sometimes it won't do all the bounces, but since they're closely grouped, I'm getting all 4 bounces. Now, right here, you're going to see the extra damage the grenade does. So, boom. Boom. Did you guys see that? So, it went from 900 to 1400. Look at this. Each time the grenade hits, it does more damage, which is pretty cool. And that's about it. It's just a grenade. And that's kind of what you use to trade and lane with a lot. Now, next up, you got Deadly Flourish. Fires a long-range shot that stops on the first champion hit, dealing 554 damage. And basically, if there is a mark on the enemy and you use this ability, it will stun them. The root duration is for 2 seconds, and Jhin gains movement speed if he crits them. So, essentially, as you can see, there's a long line with the Jhin root, but if it'll only hit the first person. It does not go through multiple targets, right? It only hits the first target. And as you can see right here, is not actually rooting the dummy. So any type of damage, it doesn't even need to be Jin's own damage, but you'll apply a mark. And as you can see, the mark right there. And then if you use the root on the mark, it'll root them. Boom, now they're rooted. And you get the movement speed from that. So you just need a mark. You can auto attack them to mark. Your trap can put a mark on them, but your teammates doing any type of damage will mark them. So you can just follow up with that route. So as you see, an auto attack route is great and can be a combo. Now for your next ability, Captive Audience, places an invisible lotus trap that reveals nearby enemies when walked over. It slows enemies by 30% before dealing, magic damage. When Jhin kills an enemy, a lotus trap will spawn and detonate where they were killed. Deals 65% damage to non-champions and champions recently hit by another trap. This is important because the traps can become super broken. But essentially, when you kill someone, it will literally place a trap on their dead body, and that will be really good for team fights. But essentially, the trap it's a certain size, and it gives you vision, but it is a little bit of a small range. So if I throw it in this bush, I don't have full vision of the bush. I only have this part of the bush, not over here. And yeah, if someone walks over it, let's see if I can get the scuttle. The scuttle's, let's see, scuttle, can you walk into this trap? Boom. The trap will open, pop, dealing damage, and it's pretty simple, and it also slows them. And a nice thing that Wild Rift did is you could just auto aim your traps on the enemy instead of having to aim it yourself. So I recommend just, you know, hitting the just the auto aim option, so it places the trap instantly on them. Now lastly, you have the current call channels to fire 4 super shots at extreme range in a cone. The shots stop on the first champion hit, slowing them by 80% for 0.75 seconds, and it increases 3% for each 1% health the target is missing. The 4th shot crits for 200 damage. And so if we open it up, boom, you just aim it and your last shot will crit. Boom. And yeah, I mean, you can just aim it around. You just got this curtain, and it's fairly simple. Now, if you want to cancel it, you will have the X button in the top right corner that you can just close out of it. So that is practically it, and you're mainly going to use this ability to finish off targets at long range. So now we're going to get into some combos that you're going to want to know how to do. So for the first combo, guys, which you're going to use in lane, is the auto attack Q. Okay, so you auto attack and you use your first ability. Auto attack, first ability. Very, very easy, okay? You literally cannot go wrong with that combo. It is very strong because essentially think of it as if you're playing Kai'Sa and you auto attack and use your first skill on Kai'Sa. So that's essentially what you're doing on Jhin. Now, there are some flash combos that you can do with Jhin. Actually, only really one, but we'll cover it. So let's say there's a mark on an enemy character. What you can actually do is use your second skill into flash like this. Okay, so what this allows you to do is root the person quicker, because the farther away you are from the enemy and you root, the longer it'll take for the root to go through. But if you root them from max distance like this and flash in, it'll basically allow the root to land quicker. So that is a very good combo to utilize. But something important to note is, let's say you're coming in from a different angle, right? And you don't want to second skill flash. What you can actually do is flash to the side and then land it. Okay, so this is actually a really neat combo that you can utilize in your game. So okay, another thing you can do with the Jhin second skill flash is you can also flash it forward. You can also flash it forward. So if you're not in range for it, you just flash it in and you'll tag it. So that's essentially all the combos you could do with Jhin. You can't flash anything else, unfortunately. And you cannot flash your ultimate because it'll just stop. So that's the only flash combo you can do. Okay, so what you're going to do for the next combo is you're going to use your first ability, third ability, second ability extremely quickly. Look at that. Boom, okay? Now, the key to this, guys, is you want to use your trap and your root simultaneously. Like, you want to use it at the same time. So you trap and then root. So you root them into the trap damage. That is literally the best combo. So let's say you have a Nautilus and the Nautilus CCs them, just trap and then throw your root out. But if you do not have time to wait for like, you don't have time, you need to use your root to follow up immediately, just use your root and then place your trap. It won't be as good, but make sure you prioritize the root all the time. You really want to prioritize the root. So I recommend just going to practice, though, throwing your trap and your root immediately. And remember to just auto aim the trap, because it'll literally aim it on them for you. So the full combo, your full damage combo, would be auto attack, grenade, trap, E, auto. Okay, that is the full damage that you can do on a single person. Okay, now a little bit of a tip. It's not necessarily a combo, but a tip that you can use in the laning phase is you want to auto attack down to 2 auto attacks, wait for your fleet footwork to hit 100, auto attack something, and then use that fleet footwork movement speed to get your 4th shot off. Okay, now let me demonstrate this as if we were in lane really quick. So let's say the enemy dummy is right here, and he, like, the enemy character is right there, and he's trying to space me out, right? So I'm gonna wait. I have 100%. I have my 100 number on my fleet footwork. Now I use that movement speed to get the 4 shot off, okay? That's really good for laning, okay? That is extremely good to use in laning, and not much people know about that. So that's essentially all the combos. Now there is one more that you can do, and it requires your ultimate. So let's say you're going to use the trap, the stun, and then you're going to channel out your ultimate. That is a very good combination to do. Another thing you could do is if they're just marked, you use your root and then you open up your ult immediately, okay? You really want to use your... You want to use your ultimate when all 4 of your auto attacks are down. So let's say, boom, all 4 of my auto attacks are down. I have no damage. I'm going to channel out my ultimate, okay? That's kind of when you really want to use the ultimate, but make sure you root them first and then open up your ult. Because sometimes when you're using your ultimate, guys, you're not going to be in range to use your trap. So you just got to use your root and open up the ultimate, okay? Just like that. But if you're in really close range where you could auto attack, grenade, trap, root, open this up, then that's obviously good. You should do that. But that is basically all the combos with Jhin and all the abilities explained. Now we're going to take a look at how you should draft Jhin in all of your games. Alright guys, we're now going to be taking a look at how you should draft Jhin in your ranked games. We're going to be taking a look at what you should draft Jhin against and what Jhin is really strong with. So first off, Jhin is extremely strong with these champions. So Nautilus, Alistar, Rakan, they provide such fantastic lockdown potential, and it makes it much easier for Jhin to follow up with his second ability, and then he could full combo. Now Jhin is also extremely good with Karma because of Karma's CC and her third skill. Her third skill gives him the shield, which gives him a bonus movement speed where it could allow him to land his 4 shot way more easier, and also allows him to catch up to the enemy. Karma is extremely broken, as you know it, and also Yuumi is extremely broken already, so pairing Yuumi with Jhin is just fantastic. You cannot go wrong with it, and plus when Yuumi lands her first ability, you can also use your Jhin's second ability to combo it with Yuumi. So those are the best supports in my personal opinion to run Jhin with. Now taking a look at the next tier, Galio, Thresh, Leona also have fantastic lockdown potential, but the only difference is they're much more kind of harder to play. It takes more of a skilled player to really execute things like Thresh and Leona. Now of course Janna, Nami, they are fantastic enchanters as well. Janna being extremely good, but her CC is more based on the Janna skill level too. You need a great Janna that's really good at analyzing the enemy team's movement and predicting them. And Nami gives good buffs, but not really the best buffs that Jhin can capitalize on compared to the rest of Janna, Karma, and Yuumi. Now next up in C tier, I have Blitzcrank, Lux, and Gragas. So Blitzcrank and Lux are fantastic champions to play Jhin with because Blitzcrank can land pulls, bringing in the enemy. Jhin follows up with the root, and you full combo something. The only problem is you need to have a good Blitzcrank player. Now Lux is extremely good with Jhin because Lux provides a lot of damage and CC, and plus her first ability goes through minions now. So all you need is a good Lux player to land the root, and then Jhin follows up with his root, and you full combo that person. So Lux is fantastic with Jhin. Now next up, Gragas is also really good because Gragas is such a fantastic tank. He's an insane lane bully as a support. His first ability slows, and Gragas also has his third skill which can engage for you, and basically Jhin can just follow up with that. Now next up in D tier, you kind of have the more passive supports that you can't really play aggressively with. Braum being extremely weak in laning, Sona being extremely weak in laning, and Seraphine being kind of useless in laning too, unless you got a good Seraphine. So I would kind of avoid picking Jhin with these champions, but I still put them here because it could definitely work. So that's basically what you want to play Jhin with. Now, when you're looking to actually draft Jhin into an enemy composition, what you want to look for is if the enemy team's squishy. If the enemy team's extremely squishy, then you will have a great time playing Jhin. And also, you want to pick Jhin into lanes that are are not like playing Jhin into losing lane matchups are actually really good. Like if I'm against a Lucian Nami, going Jhin is actually a pretty smart idea because Jin's really good at neutralizing the lane, and so you're definitely going to want to utilize his wave clearing part of his kit to neutralize a really strong lane. You also want to play Jhin when your team comp has a bunch of CC. So if you're playing with Vi, you're playing with maybe TF, like these are champions where you're going to have so much lockdown and it makes playing Jhin way more easier. Because if you have to aim your second ability all the time, it's going to be way too hard to play Jhin because the second ability, the way it works can kind of be hard to get used to. So just having someone that could CC them, like Nautilus's auto attacks, that makes it so much easier to play team fights. So yeah, you want to have good amount of CC on your team, and if the enemy team has a really strong lane, picking Jhin's really good against, and if they're extremely squishy, that should be a great sign to play Jhin. And if your team in general needs CC, if your teammates need CC, then picking Jhin is great, because Jhin is more of a support type ADC. He has root, he has slows, and that also give vision. So he's just really more of the supportive type of role. Obviously, if you get really fed with Jhin, you could just carry the game. But that is how you want to draft Jhin in your ranked game. So now we're going to be taking a look at how you want to lane with Jhin and how you want to team fight with him. Okay, so now we're taking a look at how to play Jhin in the laning phase. So now I'm here with a Blitzcrank. This is my duo, Jhin Blitz, very, very strong. And what's really nice about this clip is we're against a Lulu Zeri, but this Lulu Zeri is both a challenger bot lane. So this is double challenger versus double challenger matchup. And so the way you want to play Jhin is looking for ways to get in auto attacks and land your empowered grenade. So right there, I was able to get an empowered bounce onto the Lulu, which helps deal damage. I'm also using that grenade to proc their bone plating, so when I do end up taking a fight, it's much better for me. Right here, they're shoving in the wave. The reason why they shoved in the wave is because Blitzcrank used pull and missed. So that was their opportunity to clear the wave and get XP. Now, as you can notice, the Zeri and the Lulu split up. Right here, I told my Blitzcrank, look onto the Lulu. We get the beautiful pull onto the Lulu, but this volley bear came out of nowhere. Surprisingly, guys, as junglers, you guys should be looking to do full jungle clears instead of doing that. Like volley bear should definitely be doing full clears. But anyways, we're back in the lane. I'm trying to use my force shot. As you notice, boom, I get it onto Zeri. You want to use your force shot always on the enemy. Take that auto and then walk away. So when you're playing Jhin, you want to wait for your support to make the play, because you want to use your root to follow up with that. Now look right here. If you guys notice in the top right, I noticed Volley Bear was trying to regank my lane, thinking that I didn't see that, but I 100% saw that. Volley Bear is looking for the engage. I used the trap to slow, and then I used my root. That was the third skill, second skill combination right there, and it worked out beautifully for us to get that kill. Nice and easy, first blood, boom. Now we're in such a much more demanding position. As you notice, I'm looking to go onto the Zeri here. I ended up using my root a little bit early because I thought Blitzcrank was going to go with the knock-up, but I was able to get the Zeri kill anyways. I flash away, but look, I have my force shot. I want to go in for the execute. Boom! I get the force shot execute, which was perfect. So now in this clip, I'm showing you guys how to play Lucian against an extremely strong lane. As you can see, we're against a Nami Lucian, and we basically went even in this lane because it's impossible to punish. But look, Lux misses her root, and I even miss my root, and we still win this. I use my ghost offensively, and I go secure the kill. Watch this. I grenade and then auto attack to get the execute. That's just to show you another little 2v2 that you could do on Jhin and how powerful he is. Right here, I'm showing you guys a little cheeky setup you could do with Jhin is when you're ahead, you want to place 2 traps in that river so that if a jungler tries to gank through that area, you're extremely safe. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Really make sure you guys use your traps off cooldown. Especially if they do not get popped, they will stay there forever. Look, I already have another trap available. Now right here, I'm keeping this low minion so that I could potentially get a bounce. You always want to look to get grenade bounces on low minions. As you see, I auto attack that. I'm looking for the bounce. Sadly, I bounced the wrong minion there. But right here, I'm waiting for this blitz pull. But since there's not really an angle. Oh, let's try to do a first ability flash. I throw another trap. Look at this. I have 3 traps down, and I have another trap in my pocket right now. So make sure you keep spamming these traps in the lane, guys, because you'll have full vision control. And as you notice, I'm building Serpent's Mask this game against Lulu Zeri, right? Very important. Now look at this empowered Q I'm about to hit. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Lulu gets pulled in, Blitz goes with the execute, I whip out my ultimate since Zeri's so far away, and look at this prediction, man. So beautiful. So beautiful. Easy. Now right here we're looking at a bit of, we're taking a look at a team fight. So right here I'm auto attack following up with my root, because as Jhin you want to look for picks. And boom, we're able to find this pick onto Jarvan, and we secure the kill with the collector. Now look at here, guys. Look at the way I use my abilities. I'm thinking, okay, we need vision. We need vision. I have a trap up, so what am I going to do? I'm going to trap that bush and ward it. I see that I get a mark, so I follow up with my root onto the brand, and the brand is dead. Now, this is very important, guys. The Zeri is going to try to hop on me. I use my ghost to get in a safe position, and then I use my range and my grenade to secure the kills. Boom. Looking for another auto. Throwing my grenade. I'm getting low. I'm running towards my teammates. I pull out my ultimate to finish off Volibear since he's far away. But look at how useful it is when your teammates CC the enemy team. It's easier to land your ultimate shots. Now we're taking a look at one last team fight. I have my 4-shot up. I'm looking for picks yet again with Jhin. Boom, we're able to find the brand. We get the kill. And now I got to be careful, right? I took a lot of damage and I got to play safe. But look at how I'm using this 4-shot as movement speed to run away from the Jarvan. Boom, I wait for my Blitzcrank to land the CC. I follow up with my root trap. And we're able to get the kill onto Jarvan. Zeri tries to overextend for me. I have to stasis. But since I'm super low, I use my ultimate. as a way to finish off the opponents when they're low. Guys, we're now taking a look at the Jhin loadout and how you want to build Jhin, what type of runes and spells you're going to want to rock. So let's get right on into it for the items. So for the items, they actually ended up buffing the lethality items recently. As you can see on Ghostblade, there's actually a green mark indicating that this item did get buffed. So that's why you really want to use lethality in your first two items. Yuumi's Ghostblade is going to be your go-to. It's going to be your default first item. It's phenomenal. You get way more armor penetration now. You get great attack damage and great ability haste, which is nice because Jhin uses his abilities. Now, the only reason you would not go Ghostblade first is if you're against Karma, Janna, Lulu, champions, Shen, champions with a bunch of shield. What you're going to do is you're going to go Serpent's Fang instead. So if they have shield, if the enemy team is has shield abilities, then you're going to want to use Serpent's Fang over Ghostblade, okay? Next up, you're going to go the Collector. The Collector's phenomenal, pairing it with the Last Whisper 4-shot. It does so much damage on your 4th shot with Jhin, and it allows you to secure way more kills when you do this. So definitely use the Collector second. Next up, you're going to want to build into some crit. So, well, obviously, you're going to get Stasis, right, with Boots of Fur. Now you can do either Merc Treads or Plated Steel Caps. Those are always great options as well, but I usually like movement speed boots. And one cool thing is yeah, so I mean, you just get a lot of movement speed. Now next up, you're going to want to get Infinity Edge because it means your crits will do way more damage, and Jin's abilities do crit. So having increased crit damage is awesome. Next up, you're going to want to get Bloodthirster, but I'm going to talk about some other type of items you could build instead of Bloodthirster. So if you're against an Orianna, Ziggs, Ezreal, Varus, champions that poke you down, AP Kai'Sa, so anything that pokes you down, what you're going to want to get is Bloodthirster, because Bloodthirster heals you up a bunch, okay? So Bloodthirster heals you up a ton. Now, if you're against a champion like Jinx, Zeri, champions that outrange you, right? If you're getting outranged, Rapid Fire Cannon is a great 4th damage item because it gives you that extra range you need to compete with the other ADCs or just other AP mages. So if you want extra range, Rapid Fire is great. Now, if you just want a bunch of movement speed and attack speed, kind of, Phantom Dancer is great. I personally don't use it as much because I just prefer going Bloodthirster and Rapid Fire Cannon, so it's really up to you. And lastly, you're going to want to get Mortal Reminder. Okay, so next up, for the runes, you're going to want to get Fleet Footwork 100% of the time. Fleet Footwork is such a phenomenal rune. You shouldn't go anything else with Jhin. Now next, Triumph is really good because you deal 5% more damage against champions below 35% HP. Pairing that with your 4-shot, pairing that with your collector, insane damage. Now the only other rune you would go instead of Triumph is if you're an extremely tanky comp, because you blind picked Jhin, then go Giant Slayer, because Giant Slayer will give you bonus damage to champions building HP. Next up, you're going to want to go Bone Plating 100% of the time. Bone Plating is a really broken rune. And lastly, you're going to want to get Nimbus Cloak. So that's it for the runes. For the spells, you're going to want to go Ghost and Flash, or what you could do is go Exhaust with Flash as well. So that is it for the guide. Guys, I hope you guys absolutely dominate all your Jhin games now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and drop a like, and also let me know what you guys would like to see next. Peace!